Welcome to Business Reporter's Future of Insurance campaign. In the insurance world, an abundance of data does not necessarily mean an abundance of knowledge. You may have access to a huge pool of information, but manual and legacy processes can lead to wrong entries, typos, misread names, or even account numbers. Corrupted information and clogs in the downstream processes result in broken services and unhappy customers. What you need is a single source of data that can help you understand the risks, the opportunities, and the needs that come with each customer and fuel more informed decision-making. But how can you build it? That's what we're going to find out today from Charlie Newark-French, the Chief Operating Officer of Hyperscience. Welcome. Charlie, it's a pleasure having you here today. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Keith, thank you so much for having me.
So, Charlie, tell us about the challenges with data management. Why is it so difficult to find one single source of truth?
Better data means better decisions. For an insurance company, that might be better decision-making when issuing a policy, when paying out or not an insurance claim. Getting that data into the right place is a massively difficult task. Data comes into insurance companies from a variety of different directions and comes in a very unstructured format. It might be a piece of data that is in a document that is a PDF attached to an email. It might be on a phone call. It might be on a physical piece of mail that is sent into an organization. They need to take that unstructured data and get it into a structured format and put it into one single place. The manual processes that are typically used for this and the legacy technology is inadequate. Firstly, these processes are expensive. That's bad. Secondly, these processes are error-prone. You would find different data in different systems. You would find inaccurate data in those systems. And then thirdly, which is most important to end customers, you would find very, very slow processes. In the insurance space, you would find policies being issued slowly. You would find insurance claims being paid out slowly. Customers are starting to wake up to that. I filed for my first mortgage with my partner a year ago. We filed with a few different companies. One of the banks rejected us. After digging into that, we found out it was a simple clerical error that resulted in that rejection. Someone typed in a number incorrectly. This is an example of data inaccuracy. The companies that did come back to us with approvals took 3-4 weeks to come back to us. And during that period of time, which should have been a wildly exciting period for us, we were buying a house. We were there with no idea what was going on and whether we were going to get approved or not approved. We ended up choosing, which is what customers will do, the bank that got back to us quickest, the bank that showed that it had its act in order the best. And that's what you'll see out there is customers experiencing real pain and saying, this isn't good enough, and going to another place. And you'll see a radical movement of market share as a result.
Would you say this is primarily a technology or methodology issue?
My vision over the next 5 or 10 years is to have large insurance companies advertising to their customers something like 82% of insurance claims paid out in 7 minutes. The change that must happen will be enabled by automation software. However, methodology matters too. Legacy solutions apply a rules-based system. These are approaches that copy the exact action of what a person does. They say, I take this data and I put it here, or I compare this number with this number. When you have any variance, for you and me, that's extremely easy. For a computer or a piece of software that's rules-based, that breaks immediately.
So what does the ideal automated solution look like then?
There will be an increasing split of work between people and software. In the insurance space, the benefits will be more policies issued faster, more claims paid out more accurately and faster. We see 10x throughput time. We see 67% reduction in error rates, more accurate decisions being made. And we see radical reductions in costs. The Hyperscience platform orchestrates a digital assembly line. We take data, we move it throughout a process, and we allow for a seamless handoff between software when it can do the work and people when it can do the work.
How does Hyperscience extract data and provide a single source of truth?
What Hyperscience machine learning algorithm does is it classifies documents, it classifies the data, says this is an insurance claim form, or this is an invoice. We extract data from those documents, and then we take that data and we help companies sort that data and take decisions with that data. We thrive in very hard settings, when data is coming in from many different places, when images are skewed, when data is unstructured.
Who's responsible for quality control? Is it humans or the machine?
At Hyperscience, we assign a confidence level to every single piece of work we do. If we're presented with a document and asked to classify it, we say with 99.9762% confidence, this is an invoice. When we're not happy with our answers, we raise our hands and we ask that a person looks at that and verifies the answer. And then the software actually learns from that response. It takes a look at what the person does do and it says, how does that compare to what answer I had? And it changes our confidence levels. But the quality control, accuracy, which is paramount, is in the hands of people, not in the hands of software.
How is Hyperscience different than other AI solutions?
The traditional promise of artificial intelligence has been, give me this enormous amount of data. Give me 3 or 6 months and I will give you back some insights. We take a very different approach. We work out of the box day one and add value instantly. And we also don't require this handing over of data in order for us to start adding value.
In most industries, COVID-19 and the lockdown have prompted companies to digitize and automate. Have you seen this with Hyperscience? Can you give us some examples?
The better you serve your customers, the more likely that you are to survive this recession. Executives at large insurance companies are seeing automation software as a route to make their companies more effective, as a route to serving their customers better, faster, cheaper. Over the last year, we've grown 300%, which talks to the need or the value that our software is giving to our customers.
All right, Charlie, give us 3 key takeaways from our conversation today.
Data matters is the first one. You have to have accurate data in the right places, and it needs to get into those places efficiently. The second is that it is necessary for software to work alongside people. Software needs to do the work when it can do the work. It needs to know when it's right and when it's wrong, and then it needs to hand that over to people. Change is inevitable, and change is accelerating right now. Customers want better customer service, and they will take their dollars to companies, to insurance companies that can provide them with faster service. Speed matters to them.
Charlie, I think that's a great way to wrap it up. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. It has been a true pleasure.
Keith, thank you for having me.